Now, forewarned weather with Ashley Barassi.
Can you imagine? How scary. All right, well, we'll have our own form of, I'm sure, potholes across the area over the next several days and weeks because we're in that season where we have the thaw, the freeze, the thaw, the freeze. And so for today, we will be rising above the freezing mark, but it's tomorrow that we get the true taste of spring as we soar into the 50s. So a surge of warmth to round out the work week, but then winter makes a comeback this weekend. We could have some flurries possible late Saturday and then dipping below average by Sunday. But this is all coming in waves. It's not long stretches like what we have dealt with in the past here. So temperature change right now distinctly colder, about 15 to almost 30 degrees colder across the area. That bigger changes in Lapeer with that 27-degree swing downward. So that's noticeable as you step outside. You need to warm up the car. We have some single-digit temperatures out there, but Metro Airport 14, 16 in Grosse Ile, same in Monroe. Let's zoom out to show you where active weather is, and you'll find a little bit in that northwestern tier of the Great Lakes and then down south of the Ohio River is where we have a swath of moisture from about St. Louis, just north of Atlanta, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. So our temperature set up cooler than average across the Great Lakes, but only by a couple degrees today. 37 is the afternoon high. We have mostly sunny skies on tap, meaning that the sun does win out today. But overall, this is going to be a day where we actually will see temperatures warming once we get past midnight. So check this out. The wind chill reading, not as much of a factor. We'll be about 5 degrees cooler with a very light breeze today, not as brisk. But then once we get past midnight, those temperatures really begin to amp up, and that's going to tee us up for a warmer day. Before we talk about that lovely Friday on tap, I do want to get you into kind of the nuts and bolts of the weekend. So by Saturday, we're looking at some snow chances building, and that's because temperatures slide throughout the afternoon Saturday. Once we get closer to that freezing mark, late afternoon into the evening, we do have a chance for some of that snow to arrive. And then as we take a look at, I would say Sunday night into Monday, this system now tracking a little farther north, in which we could see our southern communities clipped with some snow as we head into your Monday. If it tracks farther north, that'll obviously take over more of our area. But then Tuesday afternoon, another system. This one's a warmer solution, keeping it rain. However, I'm not going to rule out a few snowflakes mixing in, where it could be more of a wintry mix. Let me step out of the way so you can see this planetary alignment that we have in store this weekend. And so this is going to be a parade of 7 planets. You want to look to the south. Jupiter will be bright near the moon. Others will be near the horizon. However, you do need a telescope to see Neptune and Uranus. But the problem is we're going to have some snow in the forecast, snow in the forecast, which leads to those cloudy skies, and it'll limit our view. Calendar countdown, well, 10 days until daylight saving, 22 until spring, and 38 days until Easter Sunday. Looking at your 7-day forecast, 50s Friday, and it's going to be paired with sunshine, best day of the week, and then we start to tumble. We'll be right below the freezing mark come Sunday, Monday, and then we rebound back into the 40s by the middle of next week. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. Darnell?